Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we have seen Vaisheshika Darshana yesterday. More on that, even in the prescribed, there's a book prescribed Introduction to Philosophy by Satish Chatterjee and Dhirendra Mohan Datta. I read this book long back. So I was in a training center in Ramakrishna Math. It's a book. There also not much discussed on Vaisheshika, only as it is we have seen here in this small text in the book. This is only introduction. That much only is given, in fact. So that much is fine, Vaisheshika. If you want to learn more on that later, maybe after the course. I'm trying to prepare some PowerPoints for my online class students to give an introduction to the Indian philosophy, covering both Nastika as well as Astika Darshana. That time when I do, I can invite you, can also attend. Okay. Now, from the examination point of view, whatever they have seen, that is. And one point I want to re-emphasize that each Darshana, they accept certain number of Pramanas. Among the Shad Pramanas, 6 Pramana, each accept certain number of Pramana. Nyaya Darshana accept 4 Pramanas. Vaisheshika accept only 2. Perception and inference. And within that, there's both Upamana and Shabda are included. That is why it is not specifically mentioned. They argue that they are covered within the perception. They also come under perception inference. So therefore, that point you can note. What are the Pramanans? If it is asked, what are the Pramanans Vaisheshika Darshana accept? You need to mention that perception and inference. Within that, the Upamana, the comparison, and the Shabda Pramana, verbal testimony, are also included. So that is how we have to answer. So every Darshana, as I told, they talk about 6 important topics. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, Bandha, Moksha, Sadhana. Sadhana means Jnanam only for Vaisheshika, also Jnanam only. From Bandha, from the problems of life. But Vaisheshika is pluralistic, it is Darshana, reality. For them, there are many Jivas and they are eternal. So that is about Vaisheshika. Now, Nyaya Darshana, it's a pair. Similarly, the next to come, Sankhya Darshana, Sankhya and Yoga, it's a pair. So today we will start Sankhya. Sankhya Darshana, an important Darshana this is. This Sankhya is the work of the great sage with the name Kapila. So Sankhya Sutra of Kapila, it is famous. So Kapila Rishi also wrote a elaborate work, Sankhya Pravachana Sutra. So Sankhya Darshana is also called Sankhya Pravachana, Anya Nama Api Asti. So this sometimes this Sankhya is called by the name Nirishvara Sankhya. Nirishvara Sankhya means Sankhya, this Darshana, the Sankhya Darshana doesn't accept Ishvara, doesn't accept God. Doesn't accept God. Whereas Yoga Darshana accept God. That is the difference between Sankhya Darshana and Yoga Darshana. Sankhya Darshana is Nirishvara Sankhya. And Yoga is called, Yoga Darshana, it is called Seshvara Sankhya. Yoga is got another name. What is the name? Sankhya. What Sankhya? Seshvara. Seshvara Sankhya. They accept Ishvara. Whereas Sankhya doesn't accept. This Sankhya Darshana doesn't accept. Yoga Darshana accept Ishvara. And Yoga Darshana also has got the name Sankhya. But Seshvara Sankhya. Seshvara Sankhya means theistic Sankhya. This Sankhya is atheistic Sankhya. I mean, atheistic I'm using loosely. Okay. You know what is atheism and what is theism?
Yes, ji.
And that's in loose sense I'm using. Those who believe in Veda, they are called Astika. Those who don't believe in Veda, they are called Nastika.
Astika.
Astika, Nastika is in English loosely translated as atheist and theist. But atheist in English, what we mean is those who don't believe in God, they are called atheist. Theist means those who believe in God.
Ji.
That meaning taking, this Sankhya Darshana is Nirishvara Sankhya. And Yoga Darshana is called Seshvara Sankhya. Okay. Anyway, we will read this, then we will see more on this. When we read, we will understand. Introduction. After stating his views and defending them with the help of appropriate quotations from the Upanishads, Badarayana, in his Brahma Sutras, starts his criticism of other schools with the Sankhya philosophy. Directly saying starts like this. The author of this book. Badarayana, who is Badarayana? Vyasacharya. Vyasacharya, who wrote Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra is a sutra work on Vedanta. Vedanta Darshana. It's going to come later. Last Darshana we will see. Now in that Brahma Sutra, this Badarayana, Vyasacharya, he deals with other Darshana and dismisses. Deals with other Darshana and dismisses the views of other Darshana. So mainly what he deals with is, he starts its criticism. He starts refuting starts with the Sankhya Darshana. Why he starts with Sankhya? It's beautiful. Why it started Sankhya? Because Sankhya is the most powerful among the other Darshana. So if you dismiss Sankhya, the other Darshanas stands dismissed. Right? There is a Nyaya. There is a syllogism. What do you call it? Pradhana Malla Vivarhana Nyaya. Nyaya means, syllogism we call in English. Like we say Shaka Chandra Nyaya. You know Shaka Chandra Nyaya? Have you heard? Arundhati Nyaya, you know. Arundhati is Shaka Chandra Nyaya. The marriage ceremony. Seeing the Arundhati star, you know.
Yes, Ji, they'll ask whether you can see that Arundhati and Vasishta.
Arundhati and Vasishta, how do you see? They cannot be the sky. Many stars are there. How to show that? There is if you see the tree, you see the tree. There's a branch, a long branch, and on the side of the branch, the tip of the branch, do you see a fruit? On the side of the fruit, you see a star. That is the one. That is taking step by step to make you see the star. That is called Shaka Chandra Nyaya. Understand?
Astuji.
First you have to see the tree, then branch, then slowly, then on the branch, there's a fruit on the top. Chandra is right to the Chandra, you see the star. That is, I'm just saying an example. Okay, this is called Nyaya. Shaka Chandra Nyaya. Then Dehali Nyaya. Like that, many Nyayas are there.
Yes, Ji.
All these are syllogism we call in English. Similarly, there is a Nyaya called Pradhanamalla Nibarhana Nyaya. That is, if you want to be the world champion in boxing, you want to be the world champion in boxing. What you are supposed to do?
Practice.
You have to box. Of course, practice. Yes, sure. Without practice, you cannot become. So boxing means you will go. How many people are there in the world? Suppose if you say, I'm just assuming. Okay, this has got some 30 billion people. Assume 30 billion people are there in the world. So you have to go and fight with all the 30 billion people to get the boxing title, world champion. Your whole life will end. 30
Ji.
billion. Huh? 30 billion.
Ji.
You fight with 30 billion people.
No, Ji.
Among them, from each country, one person will represent that, right?
Yes, Ji.
From India, one person will represent. From US, one person will represent. You attack that person and you conquer him. That means you have defeated US. You have defeated China. So like that, right? So
Yes,
like
Ji.
that, the world champion will be there. The one who has conquered the competition and got the world champion, you defeat that person. You become the champion, right? World champion. So does it? So you don't have to defeat all the people in the world. Not possible. The one who represents and who claims to be a champion, you defeat him, you become a champion. So that person, powerful person, that you defeat him. So defeating the powerful person, you become the champion. That is called Pradhana Malla Nyaya. Here, the Sankhya Darshana is very strong, very powerful. So if defeating this, refuting this, other Darshana stands refuted. Understand? That's the idea.
Yes, Ji.
That is why Badarayana, Vyasacharya, in the Brahma Sutra, it starts its refutation, criticism with the Sankhya. It doesn't talk about Vaisheshika. I mean, of course, it talks about, I'm just saying, it starts with Sankhya. It means all the other darshanas stands defeated. That's the idea. So while commenting upon the Sutra, Shankaracharya has given the reason as to why the Sankhya system was chosen first. Why Vyasacharya chose Sankhya to deal with first. Why? Because the word he has used, Pradhanamalla Nibarhana Nyayena, by the maxim of overcoming the chief wrestler, is very significant. You defeat the most powerful, then other stands defeated. That is the idea. That's a Nyaya. If a well-known wrestler overcomes a chief wrestler of the opponent's group first, it is as good as all the others also have been vanquished, even without fighting them, right? So you defeat the current champion, then you become the world champion, right?
Yes, Ji.
You don't have to defeat everybody. You defeat a person who represents say the country. Then you defeat him. Then you gain the title. This shows how important a system the Sankhya Darshana is. Right? Therefore, Sankhya Darshana is important. As per the orthodox accounts, this system was founded by sage Kapila Rishi. He was the propounder of this darshana. The work that has come down to us as his Sankhya Sutra. Sankhya Sutras. It is obviously a late work. It means it was developed later, Sankhya Sutras. Then it is in 6 chapters. Sankhya Sutra also studied. Even it is taught now by some ashrama. So it is there. It is taught. Sankhya Darshana. Anyway, that is in 6 chapters, contains 526 sutras in all. Vijnana Bhikshu, 16th century AD, has written a commentary called Sankhya Pravachana Bhashya. Sankhya Sutra, as I told, let's got another name, Sankhya Pravachana Sutra. On that, Vijnana Bhikshu had written a commentary, Bhashyam, called Sankhya Pravachana Bhashyam. Okay. And why this Kapila, who propounded this, he did not accept the existence of God, Ishvara. Why? Because Ishvara's existence cannot be proved. Therefore, it is called Nirishvara Sankhya. And the disciple of Kapila, Asuri, and his disciple, Panchashika, they wrote some text elaborating the Sankhya system. Of course, they say it is all lost over a period of time, so it is not found. So this, what we have is Sankhya Karika. The Sankhya tradition of philosophy was nourished and propagated by Kapila's disciple Asuri and his disciple of Asuri is Panchashika. Some sutras of Panchashika are found quoted in the Vyasa Bhashya of Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. It means the work of Asuri and Panchashika are not available. They are lost. But you can see the quotation of the Panchashika in the Vyasa Bhashya in the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. Vyasa Bhashya is on the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. There you can find. The complete work as such has not yet been found. Not there. Then there is another text called Sankhya Karika. This is what I told by mistake Sankhya Sutra. This is what is widely read, Sankhya Karika. Tarka Sangraha and Nyaya and Sankhya Karika, based on Sankhya, it is widely read. Written by Ishwar Krishna. By far, the earliest available and reliable work on the Sankhya is Sankhya Karika, written by Ishwara Krishna. It has got 70 stanzas in Arya meter, not Arya, it is Arya meter, and sometimes designated as Sankhya Saptati. Then Gaudapadacharya had written a Bhashya on Sankhya Karika. It's called Sankhya Karika Bhashya. And Vachaspati, another author, had written commentary. Okay, it is all here. We'll read that. It contains a brief but brilliant and lucid exposition of the doctrines. Which one? Sankhya Karika. And the two well-known commentaries, Sankhya Karika Bhashya of Gaudapada and Sankhya Tattva Kaumudi of Vachaspati. They're all well-known commentaries on the Sankhya Karika, written by Ishwara Krishna. And text on the Sankhya system. Then Sankhya Sara of Vijnana Bhikshu and Sankhya Pravachana Sutra Vritti of Aniruddha are the other works of importance. So these are some of the works on which this system, the Sankhya Darshana, is as its basis. Now, the significance of the name Sankhya, what does it mean Sankhya? The origin of the word Sankhya seems to have been an enigma. It's puzzle. Some thinkers derive it from the Sankhya meaning number. And they have this opinion that it might have got this name since it enumerates the ultimate principles in creation as 25. This Panchavimshati Tattva. So they count the Tattva to be 25. Therefore, it is called, it is Sankhya, it is counted. Therefore, it is called Sankhya iti. Sankhya meaning number. Sankhya is Tadita word. Tadita Pratyanta word, Sankhya. Others, however, think that since it stresses jnana or knowledge as only means for liberation, therefore, Sankhya means jnana. Samyak khyayate. The word fits in very well with the system. So, other meaning possible is Sankhya can mean jnanam. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna uses the word. Second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is called Sankhya Yogo Nama Dvitiyo Dhyayaha. It is called Sankhya. And in the third chapter also, Bhagavan Krishna uses the word Lokesmin Dividha Nishta Pura Prokta Mayanaha Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam. There, Sankhyanam means Sannyasinam. The meaning is Sannyasi. The idea is Sankhya means Jnanam. Sannyasi or after Jnanam or they have Jnanam. That is why Sankhya can mean sannyasis also. So Sankhya meaning Jnanam, Sankhya meaning sannyasi also. That meaning also possible. How the word What the meaning jnanam? Samyak khyayate. Samyak khyayate iti. Samyak khyayate iti. Samyak khyayate iti Sankhya. Samyak khyayate iti, that by which something is well known. Samyak khyayate iti Sankhya. So, two meanings are possible. One meaning is number, other one is jnana. You can get the word Sankhya by any of this meaning. You can give both. You can call Sankhya based on the Sankhya meaning number because it enumerates the Tattva to be 25, or Sankhya meaning Jnanam if you take this presents Jnanam as the only means for moksha. So that is the significance. Then what are the Pramanas? The methods of knowledge which Sankhya Darshana accepts. Unlike many other systems, Sankhya accepts only 3 Pramanas. Among the 6, they accept only 3 Pramana, the valid sources of knowledge. What are they? Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. Of course, it must accept Shabda because it is Astika Darshana. So all the Darshana accept Shabda only. Accept Shabda also. Important. Because without Shabda, they cannot be a Astika Darshana. They accept Pratyaksha, Anumana. They don't accept other Pramanas. Arthapati, Anupalabdhi, Upamana and all, they don't accept. Pratyaksha, what is Pratyaksha? Direct cognition of an object through its contact with sense organ. So, Jnanendriya, in contact with the Jnanendriya Vishaya, Indriya Vishaya, perception. The perception of the object takes place. So, like the eyes seeing a table or the ears hearing the chirping of the birds. So it hears, therefore, that the direct cognition, direct understanding, direct knowledge of an object, that is pratyaksha. The first contact may give a general knowledge, that is called nirvikalpaka. The first contact, nirvikalpaka. Nirvikalpaka means it is not a firm knowledge, it is indeterminate. Knowledge is there, but it is not conclusive. Some indeterminacy in some weakness is a nirvikalpaka. When on closer observation and thinking, the perception gives a clear idea. It is called savikalpaka. So, this is with regard to pratyaksha even. From a distance you are seeing, it looks like your friend, the walking style, and by that you guess it's your friend. But you confirm it only when you go nearer. That is savikalpaka. From a distance, nirvikalpaka. When you confirm by closer observation, it becomes savikalpaka. On seeing a table, the first reaction is I am seeing some object. Then comes a clear idea. This is a wooden table with a red cloth spread over it. That is nirvikal. Therefore, the first is nirvikalpaka pratyaksha. Second one is savikalpaka pratyaksha. So savikalpaka is final conclusion, So the first one is nirvikalpaka pratyaksha. You are not able to recognize what it is. Then on closer inspection, you know it is a table. That's called savikalpaka pratyaksha. So pratyaksha, 2 types. This all the darshana are in fact it is interesting. If you develop interest, it will be very nice to study on this further. It's all matter of interest. And among all that which is on which is accepted by the Advaita tradition, by the parampara of Shankaracharya is Vedanta, which is the most what do you call? It is not from the academic standpoint, even from the life standpoint. What is the reality? The answers for many questions, what you have been asking, that you will find in Vedanta. So all the darshana, in fact, they help in forming finally that darshana, Vedanta darshana. Even you will find Vedanta darshana adopts the method of the creation, etc., from Sankhya system, Sankhya darshana. That way, all the darshanas are important and they have got a role to play. They complete the system. Fine. Now, the next valid means of knowledge is Anumana. All these things we discussed elaborately, the knowledge of Pramanam is important. What is a Pramanam? Anadigata, Abadita, Arthavate, Jnana Janakam, Pramanam. That's the definition. Remember that, important. Now, this Anumana or inference is the second source of knowledge, second Pramana, which the Sankhya Darshana accepts. It is gained by seeing some sign first and then inferring the reality behind it. We know what it is. Parvataha Vanniva Dhumavatvat. That is the Anumana example. The stock example given by most of the philosophers is coming to the conclusion that there is a fire on a distant hill. This we discuss elaborately, or using the technical terms, Vyapti, Sadhya, Paksha, Hetu, etc. So we know it very well. So we don't have to discuss what that Pramanam is. Indeed, that already we have seen. That there is a fire on a distant hill by seeing smoke rising out of it. Since our previous experience through direct perception has shown that wherever there is smoke, there is fire. Etra etra dhumaha tatra tatra vagnihi. That's called Vyapti Jnanam. Here also we conclude that there is fire, even though we don't see it directly. An invariable concomitance, Vyapti Jnanam, between the object seen and the unseen object inferred, here the smoke and the fire is a necessary precondition. That is Anumana. Then Shabda Pramana, verbal testimony, is the third and the last of the Pramanas. It is a testimony of a reliable person. Who is a reliable person? Rishi. This is called Lokika Shabda or Apta Vakya. Okay. This of a reliable person, Rishi also person only. So this is this when you say Shabda Pramana, the words can give also knowledge. So generally, this what we understand by the words is Shastram, Shastra Pramanam, the Shastra Pramanam. Even in Vyavahara, the words give knowledge. The words could be a Lokika words or Alokika. As I gave an example, if you remember, Lokika Shabda. Suppose if I tell you there is a valley of flower in the Himalayas, that's a Lokika word. So hearing that information from me, you know that there is a place called Valley of Flower. That gives a jnanam about that place, knowledge about that place. But it is subject to verification. You can verify it. You can go there and verify for yourself. If it is not there, then what I said is not, it's wrong. It is not a knowledge. So Laukika, words can give Laukika Jnanam and words can give Alaukika also. Alaukika Vishaya, about Swarga, etc. Which these Shastram talks about. Punya, Papa, Swarga, etc. Which are not Laukika. You cannot verify it. How do you verify it? Can you see Punyam? Can you see Papam? Can you see Swarga? Can you see Naraka? How can you verify Naraka Loka, heaven or hell? Not available for your immediate verification. Even after verification also, how are you going to come and tell me? Not possible. We have to come in Preta Sharira. So not possible. So when we say verbal testimony, the words of could be the person or the words of the Shastram. That is why here he says testimony of a reliable person. This is called Laukika Shabda or Apta Vakya. Apta Vakya means the Vakya which comes from the Purusha, the person who is Apta, who is a Jnani, who is a wise person, Apta Vakya. The Sankhya, however, doesn't recognize this as a separate Pramana since it depends upon perception and inference of that reliable person. It is a testimony of the Shruti or the Vedas that the Sankhya admits as an independent and the last Pramana. So, what by the Shabda Pramana means that Sankhya accept Veda as the Pramana, not the Laukika Shabda Apta Vakya of any person, even a Jnani. They accept because what the Jnani, the Jnani, the knowledge of the Jnani also, he has gained that knowledge of a thing by perception or inference. So anyway, therefore, inference and perception is a means. So therefore, we don't have to say that Lokika, that a Shabda of the Jnani is a Pramanam. We don't have to consider. Therefore, this Sankhya doesn't consider the Vakya of the person as a Pramana. What it considers is the Vakya of the Shruti, Vedas, that they consider as the Pramana. Not the words coming out from the mouth of the Jnani, the wise person, the sages, etc. Okay. Veda gives us true knowledge about the supersensuous realities. What is supersensuous? That is not available for your perception of your sense organs. Supersensuous, which cannot be otherwise be known by pratyaksha or anumana. So therefore, Sankhya accepts three types of pramana. One is Veda pramanam, other one is pratyaksha, other one is anumana. Shabda pramanam, I said, among the Shabda pramanam, only Veda pramanam, not the other Lokika Shabda that it doesn't accept. Why it doesn't accept? It also comes under Pratyaksha or Anumana. Therefore, doesn't accept it as a separate means. Vedas being Apaurisheya, not man-made, but divine. It is from Ishvara, that is why it uses the word divine. They are infallible, cannot go wrong. It is Satyam. What Veda says is Satyam. They embody the intuitions of the great rishis, the enlightened sages. Then the prameyas, the objects to be known. Pramanams are discussed. Now, what are the prameya? Prameya meaning the object of knowledge. Adopting the principle of from the seen to the unseen, or from the known to the unknown. Sankhyan metaphysics has reduced all the realities in our experience to two fundamental eternal substances. See, how the knowledge takes place generally you see. From the known to the unknown only always we grow. Not from the unknown to the known. First we step into the known thing, and from the known thing only unknown. So what is known, what is available for your knowledge by employing the means of knowledge, like perception, inference, shabda, pramana. By applying that, you know, you arrive at the knowledge of the known thing, perceptible thing. From that you infer the unknown thing. From that you gain the knowledge of the unknown thing. So from known to unknown, from seen to unseen. So what this Sankhya has done is has reduced all the realities in our experience. In our experience, it is available for our knowledge, for our knowing, to two fundamental and eternal substances. What are they? One is Prakruti, otherwise called Pradhana or Abhyakta. These are the technical terms you can note. Prakriti is one, otherwise called Pradhana or Abhyakta. They are Jada, insentient nature, the matrix of all lifeless and unconscious objects. That's why I said Jada, that Prakriti. Then other one is Purusha, that is Chaitanyam, consciousness. Purusha, otherwise called Atma. So, two things. So it reduces everything into two things. Only two things are there. What are the two things? One is Prakriti, other one is Purusha. Prakriti, Purusha. And in Gita also, this idea is taken by Bhagavan Krishna in the 8th chapter. It is presented in 7th chapter. 7th chapter. So Prakriti and Purusha, these are the two realities for this Sankhya. How many realities that Nyaya Darshana add? They have got Sapta Padartha, right? But here they got two realities. Where they have got, it's a pluralistic reality philosophy. Which one? This Vaisheshika Darshana. Many things are there. Atmas are there, Panchabhutas are there, Drik, space was there, Akasha was there, all those things were there. But here, only two things, Prakriti and Purusha. The basic argument behind this conclusion is called Satkaryavada. We will discuss that. Satkaryavada. Karya means product. Satkaryavada. The principle that the effect means Karya, product. Effect or product or Karya all means same. Pre-existed in the cause. That is, Karya is existing in the Karanam. That's called Satkaryavada. I can give an example. Okay, himself is going to give an example. Same example we will read. That's a standard or very good example. Karanam is in the Karya. Karanam is in the Karya. Karya before manifestation, it is in the Karanam. Like example, for instance, when a pot is prepared out of clay, when you make a pot out of clay, no pot has come. Where was the pot before it came to manifestation? The pot already existed in the clay. In what form? In unmanifest form. Now the pot has come. It has manifested. It is in manifest form now. So in the unmanifest form, in the potential form, the pot was in the clay. So pot, the karya, existed in the karanam, clay. So therefore, Satkaryavada is this creation is nothing but it is already existing in the Karanam. The created pot, the pot, we say pot is created. The pot, in fact, it is not really in fact, a creation. The pot is nothing but the manifestation of the unmanifested pot in the clay. Understand? Manifestation of the unmanifested pot in the clay, that is a karanam, is called karya, the pot. So ghata is nothing but the manifestation of the unmanifested in the clay. So pot, the karya, clay, the karanam. Understand?
Yes, Ji.
Yes, Ji.
So pot already existed. A child is already existing where? The child who is not yet born, it is in the mother, it is as well as in the father. It is their unmanifest form. It is there. It manifests. If it is not there, then how can it come? That vada, that thinking, that is called Satkaryavada. The main logic behind this is that something can never be produced out of nothing. That is the idea. If it is not in the Karanam, then it cannot be produced. So the Karya must be existing in a subtle form, in a potential form, in an unmanifest form in the Karanam. That is the idea. That Vada, that argument is called Satkaryavada. Opposite of this is what? Asatkaryavada. Asatkaryavada, what they say? Karya has come out of nothing. Suddenly it came. What suddenly it came? How can suddenly something can come? It can never come. We also don't accept Asatkaryavada anyway. But there is a Vada, there is an argument. Asatkaryavada. Everything happens by chance. The Shunyavada and all they say. That is no Karanam, but Karya has come. Karya has happened. A product has come. For anything to come, there must be a Karanam. And that what has come must be existing in a subtle form in the Karanam. So that is the Satkaryavada. That's what he says. Therefore, the logic, the reasoning behind this, something can never be created out of nothing. In the beginning, there was nothing. From that, this world came, you cannot say. In the beginning was, what was there? Bhagavan always it is there. From Bhagavan only this world has, this Jagat has come. So, therefore, Bhagavan is a Karanam, this Jagat is a Karyam. The Jagat alone, this world alone, this universe alone, cosmos alone in the form of unmanifest form, in the before the creation, it was in with Bhagavan only. It came out as a Karya. That manifested Karya is what we call this Jagat. So that is called Satkaryavada. So when it is asked what is Satkaryavada, you can explain by giving such examples. Okay.
Yes, Ji.
Applying this. So now see, Satkaryavada, if butter is not in the milk, how can butter come from the milk? Right?
Yes, Ji. Ji.
Asatkaryavada, then from the milk, what you get, you should get a tree. Do you get a tree from the milk?
No, Ji.
Do you get a mobile phone from the milk? You don't get. Butter is there in the milk. Therefore, you get butter, you get ghee. Everything is there in manifest form. That's called Satkaryavada. Opposite to that is Asatkaryavada. So what is there only will come. What is there in what you have understood, that only you will write in the exam, right? Satkaryavada. What is there in your brain, that only will come through your writing. So if nothing is there, then Asatkaryavada, nothing. You go and sit in the examination hall without preparing. Bhagavan will do, Bhagavan is also doesn't accept Asatkaryavada. Doesn't happen like that. If it is there, then it comes out. It is not there, doesn't come out. Simple. That is called Satkarya, Asatkarya. Applying this argument to the world of our experience, where every object is seen to possess these characters: pleasure, pain, and indifference. Indifference means neutral, neither pain nor pleasure. The Sankhya comes to the conclusion that there must be three basic subtle substances. See, the object with what we interact with or what we perceive, it is got three these qualities. Pleasure. There are objects which give pleasure. It could be a object, or it could be a person, or it could be a situation. Or the object or the person or situation can give pain, or the object or the person or situation can be indifferent. It be nothing, neither pain nor pleasure. All the three things are possible, right? Or the same object which is a source of pleasure can become the source of pain also, or which is a source of pain can become the pleasure also. So this is our anubhava, our experience, right? With the objects. Objects mean not only the physical objects. It could be a object or a people or the situation, or it is a mental objects, anything. So since based on our anubhava, what Sankhya they have concluded is Sankhya come to the conclusion that there must be three basic subtle substances from which these characters are derived. What are they called? They call them guna, the qualities. Three types of guna: sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna.
Tamoguna.
All these things are discussed in detail in Gita. That is why I said this Sankhya is many things are taken by Vedanta, and Bhagavan Krishna beautifully presents in Gita, sattva guna. What would be the characteristics of sattva guna person? A person having sattva guna dominant, rajo guna dominant, tamo guna dominant. The one who has got sattva guna dominant is called a Brahmana. Not by jati, not by, we don't accept that. Na jati, na karma. Whichever jati is born, if the person has got sattvam, that knowledge, pleasant person, the pleasantness is because of jnana, knowledge. That person is the sattvika person. Then one who is very highly active, he said it's a manifestation of rajoguna. He is restless, he always wants to do something. And tamoguna is nothing. These are the manifestation of the guna in a person. Now here, what he says is, these gunas are there in the substances, in the objects. And sattva is that which produces pleasure or happiness. Rajoguna is that which produces a pain and therefore suffering. Tamoguna is neither, which is indifferent. Each of these gunas stands for a distinct aspect of physical reality. Sattva signifies whatever is pure and fine and conduces to the production of knowledge as also happiness. So sattva produces knowledge and also happiness. So tranquility, shanti, these are the signs of sattva guna. So that objects as that guna, and that interaction with that, the person who has this manifests that gunas. Okay. Rajas is never ever active. Ever active. It is also responsible for desires, ambitions, to fulfill which one has to actively work. That is why a person has got a lot of ambition, desires, he will work for it. It's called rajas. Rajasic person, we say. Rajasic person. Tamas is stolid, offers resistance, tends to sleep and inactivity. Tamas is sleep, ignorance, tamas, inertia, laziness, that's called tamas. In fact, all these three gunas are there in everybody. In every person also it is there. In every objects of the world also it is there. Light stands for sattva. Darkness stands for tamas. And similarly in the person also all these gunas are there. And when you go to bed at the night, there tamoguna manifest. When you wake up, you are active, and when you that you are rajoguna. And when you sit for study or when you do puja, japa, etc., then sattva guna. So all the three gunas, as it manifests in human beings at different times, similarly it is there in the objects. of the world. So therefore, the three gunas. The three gunas always exist together and can never get separated. When these three, which are ever in turmoil, as it were, in a perfectly balanced state, not interfering with one another, though ever active or in perpetual motion within themselves, they constitute the Prakruti or Pradhana. So these three gunas always exist together. When these three, they are in balanced state, they are in a balanced state, that is Prakriti. That constitute Prakriti, otherwise called Pradhana. In other words, Prakriti is none other than these three gunas in a perfect state of balance. This is according to Sankhya. Okay, these three gunas are perfect state of balance. The Prakriti is a basic material, the primal matter, that is Jada, from which the universe evolves. So Prakriti is from which only this Jagat has come. It is Jada, it has no Chaitanyam, no consciousness. The Purusha, the soul, Purusha called Atma, soul means Atma. On the other hand, is a conscious entity, it is conscious. Consciousness is there, consciousness is the Purusha. He only manifests this consciousness. Consciousness is his nature. The consciousness is his very essence, nature. He is eternal, ever pure, ever detached, and all pervading. Conscious is not bound. Conscious is not bound, not limited. It is all pervading. It is ever detached. It cannot be limited. And there are innumerable Purushas or souls, as many as the living things. There are many Atma Purushas are there. Not one Purusha. Many Purushas and Jada. So, it is then how the Jagat has come. We saw the Prakriti, it's in a balance, the three gunas in a balanced state, it's called Prakriti. Now, the creation or the evolution of the world as a starting point in the Sanyoga or the effective contact between the Purusha and Prakriti. Sanyoga means contact. When the Purusha comes in contact with the Prakriti, this Jada, then the creation starts. The totality of the karma is the unseen results. Unseen, not results, it's results of the Purushas disturb the balance of the gunas in Prakriti and sets in motion the process of evolution. When the gunas of the Prakriti are in perfect balance state, then there is no srishti, no creation. When the gunas are disturbed, and what is the cause of the disturbance of this guna? The karma of the Purusha. Because of that, when these gunas are disturbed, then starts the process of evolution, the srishti. So Jagat is srishtam. Therefore, what is the cause for the Jagat srishti? Again, it also says the karma of the individual. They only are the starting point for the srishti to come. That karma of the Purusha, what does it do? Disturbs the Prakriti, disturbs the equilibrium state of the three gunas of the Prakriti, and therefore srishti starts. This srishti creation starts. Since Prakriti is Jada, lifeless and devoid of consciousness, and Purusha is Asanga, how can they ever cooperate in this process of creation? That you may ask. Purusha is Jada, Prakriti is Jada, Purusha is Chaitanyam, Asanga. Then how can this Purusha disturb the Prakriti? It is Asanga. Such cooperation is possible even as a blind man and a lame man can team together to come out of a forest. The blind one carrying the lame person who can now direct him on the right road. Right? A blind man is there and lame man is there. Both are caught in the forest. Now, what can do? Lame man has eyes. Blind man doesn't have leg. So layman can sit on the blind man, and the lame man can guide the blind man. He can walk. Blind man can walk. Therefore, they can come out of the forest. Like the blind man and layman together, how they successfully accomplish to come out from the forest. Similarly, Prakriti and Purusha, between them, because of them, joint venture, they got a joint venture. By that, creation is possible. It's an example is giving the example, showing the example. He says, if this is possible, that also possible. Another example given by the Sankhya is that of the spontaneous flow of milk from the udder of the cow when the calf is nearby. What causes the milk to come from the udder of the mother cow? and the cough is nearby. So like that. Purusha is there, Prakriti is there, so creation is possible. That is the idea. The process of evolution from Prakriti is as follows. As a result of the gunas mixing with one another, the first evolute coming out of the Prakriti is a Magat. So now the Srishti, the creation going to start. Now the equilibrium state of the Prakriti is disturbed. The gunas have started interacting with each other. Then from that, what is the first thing coming out? The process is the Magat. Otherwise called Buddhi, cosmic Buddhi. That is Buddhi, the intellect of the total. The intellect of the total. It's called Magat. May I ask, what is this Buddhi, cosmic intellect? It is, as we have Buddhi, therefore only we can do things, we can create things. Similarly, the Jagat also created. So it must have been created by the creator, and the creator must have Buddhi, that Buddhi, Magat Buddhi. So it's not, therefore, for Srishti, you need a creator. The creator must be a conscious being having the Buddhi, must be having the intellect. And the intellect is not like our intellect, it is the big intellect because it creates the Jagat. So therefore, it must be knowing or having knowledge of all the Jagat, all the things of the Jagat. To create a simple thing, we need to know. To create a simple pot, the pot maker, what has to do? He has to know the know-how of the pot. If the Jagat is what is going to be created by the creator, then he must be having complete knowledge of the know-how of this Jagat. Therefore, his Buddhi will be what? Magat only. That's why we say cosmic Buddhi, Magat Buddhi, Magat or Buddhi. The meeting will end in another 9 minutes. If it ends, if you complete, then it's okay. Otherwise, I'll send you the link again.
Okay.
Then from the Magat, the Buddhi, what comes is Ahankara, cosmic. Cosmic means total. So you understand the total and the individual. Total is always stronger. So I give an example, understand what is total, what is individual. Now 4 students are there in the class. If I ask a question, right? They ask a question, or you ask a question. Now, the knowledge of one person, everybody has got some knowledge, right? One person may know something which other person doesn't know. So when the other person tells, so each person, so in a quiz program, it happens. In a quiz competition, there is a group, right? A group makes, there are many groups. Each group has got many members. Now, that strength of the groups lies in the strength of the knowledge of the total. 5 people are there in the group. The strength of the group lies in the knowledge of the 5 people. They discuss and give the answer, right? Individually, they may not know everything, but collectively they know and collectively they win. So their collective buddhi wins. That is called collective. Understand? So the collective buddhi, the total buddhi. So individual and total. The buddhi of the individual is vyashti. The buddhi of the total, the 5 members in the group, is called samashti buddhi. So this jagat is total. Therefore, the karta will have samashti buddhi, and that has got the name Magat. And therefore, he has got ahankara, total ego. We call it as ahankara, total ego. You have to look upon the creator also as a person, look upon as a purusha. We attribute like we give that's why we call in Gita and all we say Vishwarupa, Virat Rupa, Ishvara. Bhagavan Krishna looked upon as the Virat Purusha, as a Purusha, as a total person, having everything in him. So that Ahankara of that person, cosmic Ahankara, total Ahankara, iti. So the first one is Magat, second one is Ahankara. Then for the sattvic part of the Ahankara comes the mind. Then the Pancha Jnanendriya, like Shotra, Chakshu, Rasana, Ghrana, iti Pancha Jnanendriya. 5 Indriyas, 5 sense organs of knowledge. And 5 Karmendriyas. Pani, Pada, Payu, Pasta, iti. 5 organs of action. Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya. 5 Jnanendriyas are ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and the skin, by which you gain the knowledge of the object by perception, by contact with the Indriya Vishaya, objects of perception. That is Jnanendriya. Karmendriya is that by which you do 5 types of action, like hand, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upastha, Pani, Pada. Pani is this hand, Pada is the feet, then Pani, Pada. What is the other one? The organs of evacuation and organs of procreation. So 4 plus, what is that? Another one? Bhashanam. Sorry. Speech. Pani, Pada, Vak, speech. That is also an action. So hands, legs, and mouth, and the organs of evacuation and organs of procreation. 5 organs of action. All these are formed from the sattvic part of the Ahankara. Mind plus 5 Jnanendriya, 5 plus 5 Karmendriya, total 11. So 11 come out from the Ahankara. So Buddhi number 1, Ahankara number 2. From the sattvic part of Ahankara, this 11 comes. So 11 plus 2, 13. So far 30. Then from the tamasic part of the Ahankara are born the 5 Tanmatras, 5 subtle elements, Panchabhuta. From them further evolve 5 Panchamahabhutas or gross elements. Okay. You have to understand what is this. We are using the word Mahabhuta. Tanmatra means subtle elements. You can call that as Panchabhuta, Mahabhuta, nothing wrong. These 5 Panchamahabhuta, that is Prithvi, Vayu, then Agni, Akasha, Vayu, Apa, Agni, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. I'm just telling the order. So these are the, if it is in the 5 subtle elements, they are called, they are also born from the subtle elements are born the gross elements. You need to know now one thing. Tanmatra, when we use the word Tanmatra, it refers to the subtle elements. Tanmatra, if it is specifically used, you have to know that it is subtle, that represents the subtle 5 elements. What are the 5 subtle elements? Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. 5 subtle elements. From the subtle elements, only gross elements come. The gross elements is that what you perceive in the world, the earth, the bhumi, the water, what you drink, that is gross. And it has got a subtle part. Subtle water is from subtle water, you get gross water. From subtle earth, you get gross earth. Similarly, the fire in a subtle form, it is there. Do you see the fire in the hot water? Water is hot, right?
Yes, sir.
The water is, first it is boiled, therefore there boiling time you see the fire. Now after it becomes hot, you touch it, hot, it is hot. How do you know it is hot? Because of your perception. Do you see the fire in it? No. The fire, it is subtle form in the water. You understand?
Yes, Ji.
So the 5 elements are in the subtle form in the beginning. From the subtle form only gross form comes. So what you observe in the world in the gross form, they are born from the subtle elements. So from the tamasic part of Ahankara, 5 Tanmatras, that is Pancha Mahabhuta, that is in subtle form. They are born from that Pancha Mahabhuta, that is Stula Pancha Mahabhuta. We can call Sukshma Pancha Mahabhuta and then Stula Pancha Mahabhuta. We can differentiate like that. That would be better. From the tamasic part of Ahankara, Sukshma Pancha Mahabhutas are born. From the Sukshma Pancha Mahabhuta, Stula Pancha Mahabhutas are born. So therefore, in all, including the Prakriti, how many will be there? You please total, you will have 24 cosmic principles, 24 elements. The rest of creation takes place by the permutation combination. Each Purusha getting involved with the psychophysical complex body as per his karma. So 24 plus Purusha is 1, therefore 25 in total. Okay. So with the 24 elements, this Purusha interacts according to his karma. In 1 minute class will end. I'll
Yes,
send
sir.
how much is there further. I think we can complete today. 2 more pages only. We'll complete. I'll send you the link again.
विष्णु सहस्रनामं
Yeah, Vishnu Sahasranam.
मध्ये एकः श्लोकमस्ति किल जी एको विष्णुर्महद्भूतम्
Yes. Eko Vishnu Mahadbhutam. Yes.
तदपि समानार्थः एव जी।
Ekaha Vishnu Mahadbhutam. Yes. To be more specific, I will see the Bhashyam and tell you.
अस्तु जी।
That's a Bhashyam, Shankarabhashyam, Shankaracharyena Bhashyam Kritam. अत्र अस्मिन् श्लोके विष्णुः इति पदस्य कः अर्थः इति द्रष्टव्यम्।
अस्तु जी।
एको विष्णुः महद्भूतम्. It is Vishnu who is all pervasive. That's what it means. That Vishnu, that Paramatma is Mahadbhutam. I don't want to give my own commentary. I will just check. It is there as given, right? Afternoon class, I will answer you. Okay.
अस्तु जी।
Yes. So the Sankhya system is a wonderful system. Vedanta has adopted many of the principles of creation from the Sankhya. Vedanta also says Panchamahabhuta, from the Sukshma Panchamahabhuta. This Stula Panchamahabhuta has come, all this, and from that only Sukshma Panchamahabhuta only, from the Tamasic part of that comes, from the Rajasic part of that, there's all the Jnanendriya, etc. And from the Sattva part of it, Jnanendriya, from the Rajasic part of it, Karmendriya. So like that, Vedanta says. All these things are from Sankhya system. So it's a beautiful, it's an important system. So knowledge of the system is important. So I just try to do whatever I know, try to do justification for this exam. This much you understand, it is enough more. Okay. And Yoga Darshana also another interesting one that we will see. In the afternoon we can have, we'll meet 3:30. Okay. So let me complete this now. So now Jagat has come. Jagat is created. Jivas are, because Jiva interact because on the karma pala, Jivas are also born, that is Purushas. So two things are there, Purusha and Prakruti. Pradhana and it's called Pradhana, that's Prakruti and Purusha. Many Purushas are there, many Atmas. Not one Atma, many Atma. Therefore, for them, Atma, see, Atmas are many. Then how can Atma be free? When there are two, they cannot be free. Right? When there are two, they cannot be free. In life also it is like that only. When you are alone, you are free. When you are married, you are not free. Right? When you are married, you have got a family, you have got children, then you feel the freedom is curtailed. But anyway, that is not the thing. I'm just giving an example. Okay. It's not that you don't marry, you will be free. That is not the idea. What I'm saying is, when there are more members in the family, then your responsibility increases. You don't have, the personal time what is available for you reduce. But that is how you grow also. That is how you grow, and that is required. Once you have grown enough, then you become free. That is later. It's a long way to go. For that, one has to travel along. So that is why in ashrama also first is brahmacharya and then grihastha. Brahmacharya is a student life. Then grihastha ashrama is householder life. You develop a house, manage, grow with the people. Growth is important. Life experiences gives experience. Through experience only you gain knowledge. You grow out of experience. Then finally later stage only vanaprastha and sanya. That is how the Vedic scheme of life also. So what I am saying is this: when two are there, it means the both cannot be independent. They are dependent. That is why I get the example of this grihastha. They are dependent. Husband and wife dependent on each other. Sannyasi is free. He is independent. Supposed to be free. Sannyasi is dependent, then he is not a sannyasi. It's a problem. It's a problem for the society. It's a problem for himself. If sannyasi depends on somebody for the physical need as well as emotional need, then that person is not free, not worth becoming a sannyasi. It's a problem for himself, problem for others also. Anyway, so the idea of free. So here, this is a Dvaita Darshana. Talks about two things. Two things are there. Many Atmas are there. If many Atmas are there, how can Atma be free? But that is how, that is what there is this speculation or the method, the view is. That is what Vedanta dismisses. Vedanta dismisses that manyness of the Atma. Atma cannot be many. Atma is Ekam. That is what the finally the Vedanta Darshana comes. That is, anyway, that we are going to see later. Now here, let us continue. This bondage and liberation. It is interesting to note here that according to Sankhya metaphysics, the very purpose of evolution of the Prakruti to the world is to give Purusha one more chance for liberation. One more chance. Purusha is bound now. It is caught in the Prakruti because of karma. There is a disturbance in the equilibrium state of the three gunas, and therefore now is entangled in the world. World is Srishtam, created. Now, what is there? And the Purusha now exhausts karma and given one more chance. That is why in our darshana, in Indian darshana, Hindu darshana, we always have chance. Unlike the Western philosophy, they don't have chance. They don't believe in rebirth. Christianity doesn't believe in rebirth. One chance, either now or never. Otherwise, you go to hell. We accept either Christ or you go to hell. Either now or out. Either you go to heaven by believing Christ, or you go to hell by by not believing in Christ. You are infidel. All these are stupid concepts. Bhagavan never give one chance. Okay. In fact, what one chance? And that chance also when you accept Christ. If you don't accept Christ, you are a papi. You will go to Naraka. And you have to pay for heaven now to the church. And many people are after that and they get converted. But all these are stupid things. That is how people should have some buddhi, some jnanam, some thinking is required. That's why in the beginning, if we started the class, remember, what is the difference between an animal and a human being? This Bhagavan has given this buddhi, thinking faculty. Buddhya vigina pashubis samanaha. Buddhi Bhagavan has given, one has to use and think which is true, which is right. Even if we say there is only one chance, that is wrong. Even Vedanta says, suppose there is only one chance, it is wrong. We don't have savior. Like other religion, we don't have savior. We don't need savior. Our Shastram is the only thing which can really save us. So, and also there is not one more chance. Every birth is a chance. You have got innumerable number of chances for getting moksha. Even now, or next birth, or later birth, why you postpone if it is possible now? That is what we say. So that's the difference. Anyway, that is why there are a lot of flaws in Shankaracharya time. There he had to fight with 72 different views, the matas. In his time, there were about 72 different schools are there, matas, the opinions were there. So he had to defend and fight with them and dismiss all them in a debate. But now in modern day, what we have only two important religion, aggressive religion. One is Christianity, other one is Islam. They are so aggressive. They go on converting people by brainwashing them, by some stupid dogmas. People also like a stock, they are like a goats. They don't think. Without thinking, they accept what they say and they pay for the church for the liberation. This is absolute stupidity. So any thinking person will not do like that. Whichever religion you follow, that is the one. Why going from like a monkey from one religion to other religion? Anyway, so Vedanta is the ultimate thing. So Sankhya also believes in rebirth, one more chance for the Purusha to be free. Again, it is the same Prakriti and it's evolved the world that binds him once more. When it binds, that is samsara. When it becomes if he wants to become free, then he has to gain the knowledge of his nature. What is the true nature of myself? The Purusha, the Atma has to gain. And here, Atmas are how many? Many Atmas, many Purushas are there. So I am different, you are different, everybody is different. That is why it's a pluralistic reality. It's a pluralistic philosophy. The main cause of bondage of the Purusha and its consequent suffering in the world is Aviveka. Aviveka is non-thinking, no thinking. That's called Aviveka, absence of thinking. It doesn't use the buddhi which Bhagavan has given. Non-discrimination between himself as pure consciousness and Prakriti, which is Jada. Taking the Jada to be oneself, taking the body to be oneself. When the body dies, I die. This is called Aviveka. When the body dies, I also die along with the. Then what happens in the sleep? In the sleep, you go to. In the sleep, the body goes to sleep, but you don't go to sleep. If you go to sleep, then you will not get up in the morning. Only the body sleeps. What about the mind? The mind goes into a dormant state. It wakes up. So you are the person going into sleep and you are the person getting up. The body being there in all the three states. Body is there, but in one state body is active because the mind is active. In other state body is not active because the mind is not active. So mind also goes to sleep, body also goes to sleep. But the connecting link in all the states is consciousness. That doesn't go to sleep at all. It cannot go to sleep. The consciousness which is present in the waking state, which is there in the sleep state, which is there in the dream state. Dream state also consciousness is there. Chaitanyam, that is you as Atma is there. That doesn't go to sleep. It is always there. Death is only for the body, but the Atma, the consciousness never dies. But that Chaitanyam now is considered to be bound by this Shariram. That is called Ajnanam, that is called Aviveka. That is the cause of the bondage. It is this that is leading him from birth to death, from life to life, ad infinitum, means without any interruption, continuously, infinite. So from birth to death, again life to life, he keeps on the samsara, sagara, transmigration, life of transmigration, going from one womb to other womb. The samsara chakra continues, not knowing its real nature, one's own nature, considering oneself to be this Prakriti. Prakriti meaning Jada. This body is Jadam. This body is inert only. If the body is not inert, if it is sentient, then it cannot die because it dies like a vegetable perishes. So the body also perishes. The body also changes. First it is born, then it is grown, then undergo changes, slowly it decays, finally it dies. Asti jayate, vardate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, finally vinashyati. But what is that which doesn't die throughout? It is I, the pure consciousness. I doesn't die. What you were when you are young, the same I is there now when you are grown up. And same I will be there even when you grow old. And the same I will continue in the next Janma also. The I doesn't change. I means the capital I, the consciousness. That doesn't change. That Atma doesn't change. It doesn't have Maranam. Only the body comes and goes. With the changing body, you have Abhimana, and therefore you are in samsara. That is because of Aviveka. Now, the question as to how and when he got into the mess can never be answered. How I got into this, that can never be answered because this Ajnanam, this is Anadi, it is beginningless. It is, you cannot ask when it started. Can you ask in the dream when the dream started? No. In the dream, you cannot ask when the dream started. But when you wake up from the dream ends. Similarly, this avidya, this anadi, beginningless, but it can end. How? In the wake of jnanam, this ajnanam can end. When the light comes, the darkness goes away. So this is something important to understand. Anadi and Santa, not Shanta, okay, it is Santa. Antena, Saga, Vartate, Santa. So this Anadi and Santa. Since Aviveka or ignorance is responsible for this bondage, Kaivalya or liberation. Kaivalya is another word for moksha, mukti. Kaivalya can come only from Viveka Khyati, right knowledge. Viveka Khyati means knowledge. Viveka Khyati is right knowledge. Khyati means knowledge in the sense of direct experience. Viveka means separating himself as a Purusha, the conscious entity, from the Prakruti. Prakruti, the insentient matter, that is Jada. So I am not Jada, I am Shuddha Chaitanyam. Iti, one has to have the right knowledge. This can be attained by following the 8 steps of yoga, wherein the Purusha or the Atma, the soul is Atma, is the object of meditation. So 8 steps of yoga. So it is connected to yoga now. In yoga, Ashtanga yoga, 8 steps are there that has to follow for moksha. That we will see what it is in the next darshana. The Sankhya darshana accepts 2 kinds of mukti, liberation. One is Jivan Mukti, other one is Videga Mukti. Jivan Mukti means while living the person is free. Videga Mukti means after death he becomes free. That's the difference. While living he becomes free, after death he becomes free. The former, that is Jivan Mukti, is attained while living here. The body continues to be living for some time till the prarabdha karma is exhausted. The body will, after jnanam, after knowledge, the body will continue. How long? As long as your karma is in stock, your karma is not exhausted. Till then, the life will go, but you are free. Life goes, but you are free. You may ask, how is that I become free and now life continues? Because of the momentum of the karma, the life continues. Like the momentum of the free wheel, in the printing press and all, you would have seen free wheel. Or in a mechanical industry, or there you would have seen free wheel. There's something called free wheel, chakram. The chakram keeps on rotating, free wheel. It, even though the motor is switched off, it doesn't stop. Why? Because it has gained momentum. Why free will? You take the fan itself. Forget about free will. Take the fan. When you switch off the fan, does the fan stops immediately? No.
No,
It has got momentum. So it was, in the beginning it was 100 RPM, then slowly 80, 50, 30, 20, slowly it comes down, right? The same way karma also, karma already started. The moment you are born, your prarabdha karma, whatever karma that is supposed to fructify in this janma, it is started. So till it exhausts, it will go. And while living, this person who has gained jnanam, till the karma exhausts, he lives with knowledge. He is a knowledgeable person, he is a jnani, so he lives. So Jivan Mukti, Jivan Eva Muktaha, Jivan Muktaha, that's called Jivan Mukti. Then in this state, the perfect man means jnani, okay. Here the author uses the word perfect man, wise person. Jnani continues to live in the world, though not of the world. It means he is not bound by the world. The final liberation comes, the moksha comes final when? After the death of the body. That is called Videga Mukti. When the body also is gone, it is completely free. While living itself free, then what to talk about Videga Mukti? It's going to be free only. And the person will never come back to this mundane world. He will never get into samsara anymore. He will attain the state perfectly free from all pain and suffering, though there is no experience of bliss. Okay, all this sense of bliss and all not required. However, since Chaitanya consciousness is his essence, he will ever remains in his own state. That is what this mukti is, the concept of mukti, according to Sankhya Darshana. So, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, Bandha, Moksha, Sadhanam. Sadhanam is this knowledge, this yoga. That's 8 steps of yoga that has to be followed. That is sadhanam. So the Viveka Khyati is a sadhanam. For Viveka Khyati, the 8 steps of yoga to be followed, where the object of meditation is oneself, the Atma. With this, Sankhya Darshana is done. Next class we will see, get into Yoga Darshana. Okay. Any doubts? You can ask, you can stop here. Any doubts?
No, Ji.
Yeah, please go through that. In the beginning, you may, what is some certain things may be very abstract or vague ideas, but that cannot be what do you call? More on that cannot be talked about now. When you keep on listening, attend the other classes, even Vedanta class, I'm saying, then you will understand what is that. So academically, if you see, you may think all this looks like some hazy, vague idea. It's not idea. It's a truth. That that is why many texts are there, many granthas are there, many books are, many prakarana granthas, Upanishads are there. Bhagavad Gita is there for what? For understanding this only. That's why it's a class. It's not the class in the college. It is a class apart from the college. That is why it is taught by many ashrams, many gurukulams, many swamis, many brahmacharis. They teach what is the purpose of this life. What is it? It is who am I? So it is something which you get oriented with. Then only you will understand what it is. So here, as a concept, it is given for your. It's only the beginning. The beginning, this is how it is. When later, slowly, when you think about that and start, when you attend other classes, then you will get understand how this thing, this is, what is this. Then what are the vague ideas are there that will go. In fact, that is what we recommend in Vedanta. We say first is Shravanam, then we say Mananam. Mananam means remembering what has been listened to, remembering, recollecting, and resolving the doubts, resolving all the possible doubts. For what? For gaining jnanam, therefore moksha. But here, as a syllabus, we are not studying for moksha. Okay. This syllabus, doing BA Sanskritam and that too, doing this darshana is not for moksha. It is for what? It is for marks only. So it is for marks that this is how it has to be, can be taught, and this can be learned also. Understand the concept. Later, when you listen to that again, when you get a chance, yoga, then Vedanta Darshana and all, then you will see it. You will have the vision. Your eyes, that means your perception, you will see how it is. You will see through the things. You will see it very clearly. You will see as though you are seeing with your eyes the truth. The truth becomes so clear. The Ishvara becomes so clear. No more an hazy concept, a vague idea. As you see an object with your eyes, so too you will see Ishvara with your eyes, not as a physical object. The vision I'm talking about, right? That understanding I'm talking about. That comes. That is why that is a space that requires a specific lifestyle, etc. All those things. Anyway, that is different. This is what the darshana is about. We can stop here. Then yoga darshana we will see 3:30. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. I'm trying to make it as like a class. That's why we chant the shlokas and all in the beginning and the end. The college you don't do, right? Will you start with Vakardana Mahakaya and Sana Bhavatu and ending Purnamada? No, I don't think so.
Yes, we do, Ji.
Really? Oh, good, good. In all the classes? Do you do in all the classes? Yes or no?
First, we'll enter into the class and we have small Ganesha idol there, Jay.
Oh,
So we'll light a
you
lamp.
do it personally or you do it in the class with your faculty?
Jay, we'll do in the college class, Jay.
All the students in all other groups also, physics, chemistry.
No,
No,
Jay.
Ji. We do on our personal interest, Ji.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, personal interest. Okay, but others, physics department, what they will do? Sagana Bhavatu they will do.
No, Ji. They won't tell, Ji.
Yes. Anyway, okay. We'll meet. Dhanyawadaha.
ధన్యవాదాలు